Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here doing another anime episode review. This one's actually more of a tribute in the sense that it's Dragon Ball Z. If you haven't heard the news, Dragon Ball Z has a simulcast. Not really simulcast, more of they have a streaming site now. So episodes of DBZ will be available on stream on Funimation's site, and I will link that in the description. And I thought since tonight is the night they're supposed to premiere, which they have all the way up to episode 15 on there, I would do the review of the first episode just to talk about my experience with the series and why it's just how I feel about the series personally. Just to let you guys know, they have the dub and the sub. It's DBZ, but it doesn't have the Bruce Falconer music. It's the original Japanese music, and you actually get to hear the ending, because I've never seen a Dragon Ball Z ending, honestly. And I actually got to see that, and that's where the thumbnail picture comes from. But anyways, let's just get into the review of the episode. The episode it starts out like a typical first episode. It's bad. The animation style is pretty good for 80s standards. It's actually pretty fucking awesome for 80s. Considering the fact this show came out, what, in the 80s? Yeah, around the 80s and shit. So I like that. It kind of just starts out basically where you got the announcer telling you what Goku's been doing, what happened, the year they've had to rebuild in peace, and how the peace is being interrupted by this alien invader in this ball-looking spaceship, which we all know is Radix, flying towards Earth. And this shit's very nostalgic for me, because I remember this episode very well, and rewatching it was fun as shit. It's still, it's the old Dragon Ball Z voice cast for people who want to know. It's not a DBZ Kai voice cast, it's the original voice cast. They just use Japanese background music instead of the Bruce Falconer music. From what it looks like. At least off the first episode. Pretty much, it starts out where where Chi-Chi's calling for Gohan, and Goku is chopping out wood. And when I say chopping down wood, I mean he took his fist and broke a tree, and the tree fell over, and he brought it home. And he's talking to Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi's like, go look for Gohan, so you guys can get ready to go see Master Roshi and them. And while this is going on, the spaceship is crashing from outer space. And it crashes next, and everyone remembers the farmer. We all remember the farmer. That famous farmer from the funny-ass scene. It's still funny to watch. The farmer sees it hit the ground. He's like, oh, man, I gotta go look for it. He has the redneck guy voice. And he's like, well, I better bring my pea shooter. He drives over there. And you see Radix get out of the pod, and he's like, ha, 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 ha. Because, in Dragon Ball Z, they always had those characters do the ha, 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 ha. I don't know, I don't know why this is very nostalgic to me when the characters did that. Just because I'm so used to seeing it. Raditz goes and is like, man, it's like the creatures on this planet have puny power levels and shit. This is fucking pathetic and shit like that. And it's just like, don't you move, you're on my property. You're on my property. And he's like, it's like, man, your level's only 5. Kakarot didn't do his job. And he's like monologuing to himself. He's like, don't take a step closer. And then he takes a step closer and he shoots him. And fucking Radix grabs the bullet and it's like, and flicks it and knocks him back and busts the car. And it's just like, I sense a very strong power level. It's probably Kakarot. Let's go. He flies over there to go get him and shit. And the fucking farmer is just stunned. Then it cuts back to Gohan, to where we first get to see Gohan the first time in the series. And I think there's a lot of fangirls of younger Gohan. And as I said, it's the original voice cast, so it's Gohan's. He sounds like a boy. Gohan, I don't remember him being that, like, I guess the best way to put it is that how DBZ fangirls of Gohan would go, Kawaii Desu. I don't remember that being that. This is pretty much like the cute fan service for them. Because when you watch the episode, that's all it really is. Like, that part is just, he's all young, he's crybaby and shit. He's whining all the time, going, "Daddy, Daddy, Mommy." It's like, you don't want to laugh at Gohan, but I'm a sick bastard, so I'm so used to laughing at him. I'm so used to laughing at Kid Gohan, I guess is what I should say. Anyways, so anyway, he's crying and whatnot. He's looking at like butterflies on the tree, trying to climb the tree, all the other dumb shit. It's fucking Gohan. It's Gohan. It's Kid Gohan. What did we expect? Then you had the little famous scene with him and the tiger, where he sees a tiger, and the tiger, I think it's a tiger or a lion or something along those lines, and he pops out, and Gohan's scared, but for whatever reason, I expected him to kind of... You can't remind you of Goku just because he is his son, even though their personalities are almost really different, actually. You see the similarities of Goku in there, because he's all curious and mischievous and shit. But anyways, he's like, "Oh no, I play dead," and he lays down. He's like, he's like this, and he's like, and then you see like this little fairly scary scene where like, but the music doesn't reflect it, where it's like the tiger goes rah, 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 but what he actually did, we think he like hurt Gohan, but what he actually did is just like fucking grab his hat and run off with it. And this probably was one of the funniest scenes, and I laughed so hard when I saw this. Fucking Gohan. He's like, my hat. My dad gave me that hat. Give me back. He literally does this, where he like sticks his arms out and shit like this, and he runs at the tiger with his eyes closed. He's like, give me back my hat. And then they go through the whole. It's kind of like a Scooby-Doo chase scene. They're running over things, running through trees and shit, and then eventually, the fucking tiger lion takes a turn, and Gohan keeps running and falls off a cliff. What saves him is his tail. His tail saves him, so he doesn't like get fucked over. So he's hanging off a tree, and then his tail lets go, and he falls on the ground. It's like, "Ow!" And all the girls went, "Ah!" It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm gonna make fun of almost all the Kid Gohan fangirls just because. Anyways, so he's still being curious and mischievous and Kawaii Desu and shit. And he's like, there's like a scene where he's like, he sees like a, what is it, like a bird on like a log above a lake, which kind of leads into what happens. And he's looking at the bird, he climbs over, and he gets like this little kiddish pose where he's like, looking at the fucking bird and shit. And the bird flies away, he's like, don't go! And the log flips over in the river, he falls in the river, and then pretty much he's grabbing on the river, and he starts freaking out because he's now in the river. He's like, "Daddy, help me! Mommy, help me!" And after that point, you now have, it kind of cuts back to Raditz and shit. Well, actually it cuts to Goku on Nimbus looking for Gohan still, yelling, "Gohan! Gohan!" and shit. Then it cuts over to Raditz and Piccolo because the power level Raditz sense wasn't Goku's, it was Piccolo's. It runs into Piccolo. He's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You have a very decent power level, but I don't suggest you attacking me, considering you have such a minuscule power level." He's like, "You came here. I'm not going to attack you. I have no intention of fighting." It was like, and Raditz is like, "Unfortunately, I do." And he's like, "That's the way he wants it." You know, he shoots the blast. It doesn't do a damn thing. It's like, you managed to cinch my leg here a bit. Nice. But let me show you a more effective way of doing things. And it kind of cuts back over to Gohan, where Goku finds him in the river. And he's trying to reach for him. Then he goes into like this tunnel, and fucking Goku has to fly over the actual mountain area to grab him. And he flies over, and fucking Gohan falls off a waterfall. And this is where Goku's like, "No!" And he like flies down, tries to save him and shit. But what actually ends up happening is Gohan's like 10 feet above where he was supposedly to fall, and it made no sense, and he's hanging onto a tree, and Gohan's like, Oh, Daddy, you know, and then the Kawaii Desu shit. And, anyways, you have that going on. And he's like, Daddy, I lost my hat. And he puts the hat back on. He's like, no, you didn't. It's on your head, silly. It's like, Daddy, and all this other Kawaii Desu bullshit. And he's like, alright, now let's go back and get you cleaned up, and then we'll take you to Master Roshi's house so you can meet all my friends. He's like, yay! And they fly off. They go back to, it cuts back to Piccolo and Radix and him about to use Double Sunday. And he's like, I sent you another power level. Ha! See, that's me being a dick. And he looks over and he's like, this must be the strongest power level on the planet. That's gotta be Kakarot. I'm searching for you, Kakarot! It's not, but you don't hear like the Rock Goose Falconer music, so it's not like it's crazy menacing, but it's still cool as shit to see him going to fly off to find him, and Piccolo's like, he's freaked out. He's like, I shot him with my best shot, and it still didn't phase him. This could be a problem. And then you have the announcer going through next time on Dragon Ball Z and all that other crap. And pretty much in the ending plays, and the ending's pretty decent. I like the opening and ending. It's the Japanese version. Apparently, the Japanese version doesn't have lyrics for the opening, I'm assuming, because there was no lyrics for the opening. It was just an extended version of what we got to see in the American version of the opening with the original Japanese audio. And then you had the Japanese ending, which was in Japanese, had Japanese subtitles, and you saw Gohan walking and shit around the world, and then it has everybody behind him walking, and it's pretty fucking cool in my opinion. I liked it. It's really fucking nostalgic. I kind of want to review the over 9,000 episode just because it's over 9,000. I'm not going to. I'm just saying it'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious. No, that was gay. But just it brings me back when I was little and I first started watching Dragon Ball Z. I was like, cool, it's Goku and shit, because you know you've seen Dragon Ball and you're like, oh, martial arts and fighting and stuff, and violence. You're like, cool. It's DBZ, and you know at this point we didn't know that Kakarot was Goku. We know now, obviously. But it was still cool just to see all this mystery. You saw like. And then like the next few episodes, you know, you get explained that Radix is Goku's brother and shit, even though they have no personal relation traits at all except for being Saiyans. You know, you get this huge trip from Dragon. Like if you really think about the transition from Dragon Ball's plot to Dragon Ball Z's plot, it's fucking crazy. And that's one of my favorite things about DBZ. It was probably one of the first. It's like the first shonen. It's one of the first shonens to just blow everything out of the water. It's like, you know, we're not going to stick to the basics. We're going to make this cool, crazy, interesting. You're going to love it, and we're going to put it on for you. And that's what they did. And I fucking enjoyed it. It was awesome. DBZ is awesome. Well, this really review is just to celebrate Dragon Ball Z as a show. Dragon Ball Z is a simulcast. They even did like the whole Goku Luffy thing when you look at it. So it's fucking awesome. Nostalgia brings up so much for me. Tell me how you guys got into Dragon Ball Z. How you liked the first episode. How you remember the first episode. And go rewatch it. It has its own official stream now. The dub and sub version for all you hardcore DBZ fans who apparently don't watch English because English are gay. Or all you Kawaii Desu fans who want to see Gohan as a little boy. You weird pedophiliac people. Ugh, what's wrong with you? God. Anyways, but that is my review for Dragon Ball Z Episode 1. Just wanted to do this. Go watch it on the stream legally now. And I will catch you guys later. Oh, this is not really a continuous thing for people who might ask. This is more just for a tribute. Just a tribute to DBZ in general and then the whole streaming thing. I thought this would be a nice celebration for just in general. So leave your comment section below. Lots of gameplay to win. And I'll catch you guys later.